To create the family of man is a dream which Dame Barbara, now in her 70th year, has cherished for more than a quarter of a century. Now completed, it comprises 9 figures: 2 ancestors, 2 parents, a bride and bridegroom, a youth, a young girl, and what she calls the ultimate form. But doesn't the average man find them all very obscure?
Well, I don't find that in the part of the country where I live. They come in my studio and they look and they say, "That's a good job. I like it. It reminds me of something." And then they ruminate and they say, "It reminds me of something." And they're entirely correct, of course.
What do you want people to get out of the family of man? What do you want people to, how do you want people to feel when they look at this work?
I'd like them to identify themselves with them and give them a pat.
Why is it important for people to give them a pat?
Well, I think every sculpture must be touched.
Why is that?
Well, it's part of the way you make it. And it's our first, really our first sensibility, is the sense of feeling. The very first one we have when we're born. I think every person looking at a sculpture should use his own body. You can't look at sculpture if you're going to stand stiff as a ramrod and stare at it. With a sculpture, you must walk around it, bend towards it, touch it, walk away from it.
Isn't this damned hard work, making pieces like this?
One can easily find a physical way round. You know, there are trucks and wheels, and there are things like ropes and pulleys, and all kinds of things. So it was a challenge.
Could you perhaps describe each piece and go through them one by one? I think, first of all, there are 2 ancestors, 2 figures representing ancestors.
Yes, I didn't think of them separately. I thought of them as part of the several generations, being very much a family person myself. Not only have I children, but I have lots of grandchildren. And there are several, as you see, sort of repeat motives from one generation to another up to the ultimate form. The ancestors, of course, are right in my bones. I'm very aware of ancient Britons, just as I'm aware of my great-great-grandmother.
Shouldn't the father figure be the biggest of the collection? Isn't he the most important member of a family?
Yes, but it doesn't have to be the biggest to be the most important.
So how have you made him the most important in this particular collection?
By his terrific spiky sturdiness.
And how does that spiky sturdiness differ in the mother? How have you made her female?
Well, she's very female, obviously. I mean, she's voluptuous. And if she isn't carrying a child, she's had about 20. And if you get to the youth, you find the youth has the same spikiness as the father, this tall, upright, clear-cut sword of a creature. In the young girl, you have this kind of expectancy and a rather bland countenance, which is about to grow up.
The most dominating feature of the collection is the ultimate form.
Yes.
Why a need for that in a group of the family of man? What does the ultimate form represent?
Because I think all, from the ancestor to the young girl, have an ultimate form in view of some kind. We all have an aspiration which we share. There may be different aspirations, but they are still hopes for the future, belief in the future, belief in the children that are going to be born, and the ultimate form has this kind of serenity, saying, go on working, here I am.